to a world where Kristen isn't seeing shit.
Hey guys, finally, we are back doing another movie review. I'm here with my friend Trey.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. And this month is Superhero Month.
That's right. You know you love the heroes.
Woo! Superhero Month. And we are starting off Superhero Month by watching
The Rocketeer.
I've never seen The Rocketeer before.
Well, there's a long list of shit Kristen hasn't seen.
Yeah.
This was on the list, so we decided we're going to kick off Superhero Month with this one.
By long list, I mean, if I watched all the movies that they wrote down that I need to see that I haven't seen, I wouldn't go to work for like a week.
We'd have enough weekend reviews to last for about the next 8 months, give or take.
Oh my God. I was breaking Trey and Jordan's heart with what I have and have not seen.
All right, great example. Our wonderful Kristen has never seen Pulp Fiction.
Oh, no,
How do you not see Pulp Fiction? It's like on the list. It's like number 3. You have to see it.
It's because I was sheltered as a child.
We'll change that.
Which is what I blame for me cursing so much and having such a perverted mind. Because as soon as I was exposed to all of it, it just corrupted me because I was so innocent.
Well, I maintain the premise: without the gutter, my mind would be homeless. But that's just me.
Anyway, so we are going to watch The Rocketeer. And on a side note, I actually got my stupid soundboard working. The other reviews that I've done, I thought I was recording off of these nice mics that I have.
Nope,
it did not. It instead was recording off of my Mac, which was why Trey was so quiet in the last video.
It's like I was whispering.
Yeah, the whole time. It was like he was whispering, and then when I turned all of the volume up, it was like I was screaming.
No rock concerts. This is movie reviews.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It's like we're professionals or something. As I stick a piece of popcorn in my mouth, and now I can't chew it, or else it'll show up on the recording.
You can't have movies without popcorn. It's like the cardinal rule.
There we go. I had to pull my mouth away from the microphone. All right.
That sounded so dirty.
Oh, God. Why? Why'd you have to go there? Now I'm going to be stuck there all night.
Hey, you know what? That's payback for the bit for my e-cig, okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. He has this e-cigarette thing, and he was buying a new tip part for it, and he was like, this one's cool, and it looks like a snake, like the head of a snake, and I'm like, that just leads you open for so many dick puns.
And she gets mad at me for pulling her mouth away from the microphone.
I'm sorry. People call their dicks snakes all the time.
That is stupid. And just because I don't want to go into too much information, we're just going to say we're going to start the movie in just a few seconds, and we will be back very shortly.
See ya. All right, we just got back from watching The Rocketeer.
Took a little longer than expected, but we had a couple of brilliant brainstorm ideas, so we had to pause here, there, and yonder. But it's okay. We have returned triumphant.
Yes, Trey here is going to help me with my cosplay. I'm going to make I'm going to make it a surprise. I'll post it up later.
Be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
This is going to be my biggest undertaking ever for making costumes.
But the best part of all, built on a backyard budget.
Yeah, I know. We have most of the materials already. Well, by we, I mean Trey has most of the materials already.
The beauty of being a father.
Anyways, so, we just got back from watching The Rocketeer, and I love this movie.
If you forgive the fact that it was made in the 80s but set in the 40s and some of the green screening could have been better, but it is what it is.
I didn't think it was that bad. There's one specific scene where I'm like, yeah, I can definitely tell that's a green screen. But, I mean, yeah, you got to forgive it's in the 80s, and it still looked pretty good for the 80s.
Well, my biggest effect I had issue with was the fireball. Whenever the
pack
explodes,
yeah.
That was my biggest issue.
I think I'd suspended everything by that point because I just loved this movie so much that I could forgive that.
But if by some weird twist of fate you have not seen The Rocketeer, highly, highly recommended. Regrettably, the two biggest names I'm aware of in the movie is Jennifer Connelly, who plays the love interest, and the dude, I forget his name, which I'm sorry, he was Juliet's dad in the remake of Romeo and Juliet. and a couple of other gangster movies. Other than that, I can't really think of too much I've seen him in.
And I don't know, this was just such a great movie. For those of you who haven't seen it, we'll try not to spoil it too much in this review. Although it is an old, I don't actually feel bad about spoiling old movies because they're fucking old movies.
Okay, fair point.
But it starts out with Cliff, who is a test pilot, and they are testing out their new airplane. And while he's testing out the plane, these gangsters are chasing these gangsters and this cop are chasing this guy, and the plane gets damaged in the car chase. There's a lot of gunfire. The car hits some of the landing gear as Cliff is trying to land, and the plane just gets totally wrecked, totally fucked up.
Well, the whole reason why the plane is important is Cliff and the guy, for some unbeknownst reason he lives with, are plane designers. Their whole town is based around
Malcolm. Malcolm's who he lives with, I think. It's not Malcolm?
No, it's Peabody.
Oh, he lives with Peabody. I thought he lived with Malcolm.
No. Malcolm was the guy in the clown suit.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Peabody and Cliff are trying to
They
get a
built
plane.
this plane back in the day. Back again, and the movie takes
It's
place
set
in 38.
1938.
When plane racing and all that kind of thing was a real big deal. So they're building a biplane to enter into the national race competitions. Well, the feds and the gangsters screw up their plane,
And they spent all of their money and like 3 years trying to build this plane, and the gangsters and the FBI just totally wrecked this plane.
they screwed the pooch on that one.
But so they feel like they've lost out on everything. But unbeknownst to them, the guy who was running from the FBI and the gangsters hid what he'd stolen in their plane, and it turns out it is the jetpack.
This
the
wonderful experimental jetpack that is made by, of all people, Howard Hughes, the greatest avionics designer since
Ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so they find this jetpack, and Cliff tries to get Petey to modify it.
Well, the initial plan with the jetpack was, their plane blew up, they're eyeballs deep in debt. They were going to use the jetpack to make some real money, buy themselves a plane, and enter to the Nationals and just kind of use the jetpack as a Band-Aid. Well, throughout the movie, the gangsters are after it, and just everybody wants this pack. They've got to have it. And unbeknownst to Cliff, he ends up becoming, for lack of a better term, the hero of the movie.
When he first actually dons the Rocketeer outfit, Petey actually makes the helmet because the jetpack needs a rudder, essentially, so he's able to turn. And that's why the helmet has that big fin on the back of it.
It looks like a Chrysler hood ornament.
Yeah, he actually says it looks like a hood ornament. And so they're trying to make some more money for the plane, or I guess they're trying to make money at this point to pay back the guy who gets them gasoline, because his gasoline truck blew up in the car chase as well.
I actually think he owns the airfield that they were renting a hangar from. So
Yeah,
the
that's
hangar
it.
fees plus the gas truck was like
More
$2,000, I think. Which, granted, doesn't sound like much today, but again, back in the 1930s, $2,000 was like. You were the shit if you had $2,000.
And so he's supposed to dress up as Cliff is supposed to dress up as a clown.
It's part of their old clown act with this old plane that's literally falling apart. The thing is a death trap on wings.
But he is late because he is going to he goes to tell his girlfriend Jenny about the rocket. And he's late, and another guy named Malcolm, who hadn't flown in 20 years or something?
20 years since the First World War.
And so he dons it, and the plane that they're flying just totally malfunctions, and Cliff dons the Rocketeer to go and save Malcolm.
Which the whole Rocketeer outfit is essentially Cliff's street clothes.
With a helmet.
And a jetpack. And a pair of gloves. Other than that, he's really good-looking aviator's jacket, which I would love to know who his cleaner is. I mean, he gets old motor oil and
water
just
stains.
swamp grease on it, and in 10 minutes it is like brand new. I've got to find out the name of his cleaners.
Well, there's this whole side plot, blah blah, side plot going on. His girlfriend Jenny is an actress, and she is in this play or movie. It looks like a play, but it may be a movie. Low budget movie with this very famous actor whose name I can't.
Neville Sinclair is the guy's name.
Neville Sinclair is in it, and he finds out that Jenny's boyfriend has the rocket because he comes to tell her about it, and so Neville spends his time trying to seduce Jenny so he can get information about Cliff and the rocket.
Now, at this point, I'm sure everybody's wondering, okay, it's a sci-fi movie. What the hell's the big deal? Here's the real plot twist. Fair warning, spoiler alert, about to hit you like a ton of bricks. Since this is all set in the 1930s and 40s, obviously World War II is taking place. Nobody finds out until like the last 30 minutes of the movie. Neville Sinclair is actually a Nazi spy. The rocket was made as a response to Nazi propaganda, where they were going to send jetpacked foot soldiers to conquer the world. So,
but the Nazis were unable to build a jetpack that didn't blow up, but Howard Hughes was able to build one that did not blow up.
You know why? Why? America.
Because America. And so Neville captures Jenny at one point, and Cliff has to go save her. And it all boils down to this big epic fight on the Zeppelin. Neville gets away with the jetpack, but there was a hole in the jetpack.
10 minutes.
There's a hole in the jetpack. Neville blows up. They're able to escape. Howard Hughes, in thanks, gives them a new plane. And Jenny was able to steal the design plans from Neville's house.
Which we find out later that in working on and modifying the jetpack, especially throttle control, seemed to be a big issue. Peabody, the old guy, the plane designer, actually drew up his own set of blueprints. So Jenny steals back his blueprints. So it's like, great, we can build more of these damn things. Oh, God, here we go again.
Exactly. But this is, it's such a great movie. I was antsy the whole time because I was like, no, whatever character can't die. Especially when I thought Petey was going to die. Like, I was freaking out.
It's funny. She's sitting in the Papa San chair, got her knees to her chest, got her hands over. I was like, no, tell me when it's over. It's funny. I mean, it's one of those reactions you don't expect to see a lot, but much hilarity.
Oh, I mean, I was totally into this movie, even though it is an older movie. And like I said, this is my first time to watch it. Trey's watched it several times. He actually owns it. And
winning.
It makes you care. Unlike the last movie we reviewed, I didn't really care that much about a lot of the characters.
Well, you weren't meant to. The whole thing ended up being, America versus the Nazis. So it's just we got to beat the Nazis.
I mean, in the last movie we reviewed, like Hansel
we
and
were
Gretel.
Supposed to.
Yeah,
we were meant to care about them.
I didn't care all that much about them. Here, I actually cared about the characters. The one thing I would say is, obviously, I mean, it's set during the time, so that ends up working out. But Nazis are always I feel like they're a little bit of a cop-out villain because it's like, yeah, everybody hates Nazis. Indiana Jones did it. This movie did it.
No, there's some Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of movies where everybody's against the Nazis, but for the time frame, it fits.
It fits the time
right in the
frame.
middle of World War II, so it works.
I don't know. I always feel like the Nazis are just a writer's way of being like, we don't really Hellboy had Nazis.
Yeah.
It's just a writer's easy way to be like, yeah, I don't want the audience to sympathize at all with the villains because they're villains. And how can we make them not give a shit about these villains at all so that they don't care if the villains dies? I know.
We'll make them Nazis.
I know. Nazis. Killing Nazis.
Love the Inglourious Bastards reference. Again, for the time frame or for the 1980s.
That's a nitpick essentially, because I love this movie so much. I had to find that to nitpick.
Yeah,
and the green screen stuff, which isn't terrible.
Hey, in the 80s, green screen was cutting edge. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of effects. I mean, believe it or not, I'm still sober on this one. If you remember when we reviewed
exactly.
Hansel and Gretel, a few more rounds, I'd have been done. I'd have been like, okay, you know what? This completely works for me.
This is a sober. I don't know what picture I'm going to use for sober. Did you see the last review where I put the 3
I did,
beer?
actually. I did. I was very impressed by that.
I don't know what picture I'm going to use for sober.
I don't know. Give me a minute. I'll figure that one out.
We'll think of something. But, yeah, so.
But if you haven't, by some twist of fate, haven't seen Rocketeer, highly, highly recommended. Again, if you'll look past the green screen, remember it was shot in the 1980s. Green screen was the most advanced filmmaking technology they had. The movie is wonderful. You know, all the questions are answered with the exception of one, but it could just be kind of a mentorship kind of deal. I never really delved that deep into it.
And then there's a long pause because I'm looking at all the DVDs that Trey has, because we need to do a movie for next week. We got a couple of people that recommended we watch the Kick-Ass movies.
Kick-Ass was recommended based off of Twitter.
Which I've not seen the second Kick-Ass. Trey has not seen either Kick-Ass. Somebody recommend we watched Catwoman on the YouTube page.
Really?
That's going to be one of our bad ones. We got to do at least a few bad ones, but
can we just do Fantastic Four and call it even? Tell what, Fantastic Four and Daredevil, and we'll call it even.
Oh man, just yeah. Daredevil, Fantastic Four. I don't think Daredevil was awful, but it's not good.
For what it was, I mean, it was about as good as it could be. But
that's for a different review, a different time. So we're not sure what we're going to review next, but
again, we fully take requests. Either leave a comment in the YouTube channel. Feel free to tweet me directly at Fallen's Edge. On Twitter, I check it at least 12 times a day because my hobbies are starting to bore me.
If you guys want to tweet me, I mean, I'm horrible at checking Twitter, but I'm going to try and get better at it. You can tweet me at Black Cat Feline. Everything for me is Black Cat Feline.
There's probably a psychological reason behind that, but I really don't feel like investigating that right now.
Why you gotta psychoanalyze me on my own show, man?
Because it's a hobby, okay? Leave me alone.
Anyways, like, subscribe, do all that fancy stuff, and the next show it's still superhero month, so leave your suggestions on what superhero movies we should review.
And just point of clarification, do not have to have superpowers to be a superhero. Take Batman and Green Arrow, for example. Not a power between them, but they can kick all kinds of ass.
Exactly. If they have their own comic book series, then we can agree that they are superheroes.
I can drink to that.
Jordan actually wants us to watch a parody superhero movie. That's
just right there. Nope. Challenge denied.
We either watch that or Catwoman, but not both.
I'll do Catwoman.
Oh my God, you'd rather watch Catwoman than that?
Yes.
Good to know. I'm writing this shit down.
Go right ahead. I'll sign it at the bottom.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next time.
Till then, love you. Deuces.